Hello, friend. My name is Brock. This is how I approach writing music, composing music in 2026. I've been doing this for 10 years, and the process has changed over the years. This is what I'm doing lately. Usually when I come up with an idea, I'll be at my piano upstairs, and I'll come up with an idea just during my general piano practice times. If something that is sticking, I will record it on my Zoom H1 audio recorder, or I'll just use the iPhone voice memo app. And if that idea that I come up with is really cool, then I'll actually put it into a sheet music manuscript notebook. It's just rough sketches, but I'll kind of draw out the notes and write the chords in and kind of go from there. Now, I haven't always done this. This is kind of a newer thing in my 30s now, and I really enjoy it because it slows down the process. Before, I would really come up with an idea, and I was like, you know what? Every single idea has to go in the computer, and I'm going to make a whole production out of this. But now, I'm really slowing down the process, and when I sift through those ideas, I only pick the best ones now. And then those ones, if it's a piano idea, that will then go on to a different notebook where I'm actually sketching pencil and paper sheet music. This has slowed the process down in a huge way. I did it first with my piece Reverie, which is on the Gardenland album that came out on June 12th, 2026. So you can check that out. And I'm just so excited to continue to write that way. It's kind of old school. It's pencil and paper. And then eventually, it's just so intricate. I'm actually trying to be intentional with each stroke of the pencil. And every note is intentional to the point that when I'm done, I have a finished manuscript. And then I go into the computer, record it, and then do the production from there. So far, I'm doing that with solo piano stuff. Now, I haven't done that really with the big orchestral stuff yet, partly because I just don't have the experience yet doing a larger orchestral score on sheet music. But I'm going to get there, I hope. That's my plan anyway. I'll start with probably like string trio or quartet and then move from there. Now, if you guys are interested in the majorlink stuff and you've come for the Zelda stuff, how do I approach writing for that? Well, that's a little different because obviously for the majorlink animations, Sean and Glenn have pieces of the Zelda soundtrack that they want and that they put in their edits. And so when I get the finished edit, then I move from that soundtrack and then I try to make it my own. So really, we have this thing called a spotting session where they come over, we watch the scenes back, and they talk about what theme they'd like in certain places. And then we kind of mess around. I'm at the piano, kind of throwing my spin on some of these classic Zelda themes. And usually I'm throwing a little bit of an emotional spin. I'm trying to get into the story, and I don't really know all of the story unless they explain it to me. And so they explain to me what they're trying to do with the story. And then I try to emulate that and really project that through the music. And so we take these themes that are sometimes very simple or sometimes used for non-emotional scenes, maybe from the games, but then we actually craft it, we shape it, and we try to kind of communicate that emotion that the director and the writer, if it was any other film, that they would want. So whatever Sean and Glenn want, that's what I'm trying to do through the Zelda music. And so it happens that we come up with some very interesting renditions, and you guys have been so supportive of that. So I'll actually watch the animation and I'll write to it all in the computer. So this is not sheet music. I'm in the computer. I start with the piano. Maybe I add strings. Maybe I add synthesizers, and we kind of go back and forth, and I'm writing to the visuals. And that's really the film scoring nature of film, being a composer and a film composer and scoring an animation. Now, a lot of my work actually isn't scoring to picture these days. I usually work in music licensing. So all of the music that you hear on my channel that are like not the Zelda music, it's actually just original music in the neoclassical, ambient, or cinematic genres. And I just, I make that stuff and I put it out on Spotify and Apple Music. And I also pitch that music to companies that have a catalog of music that filmmakers can go and license that music for their film, TV project, or commercial, or ads, or YouTube, podcast, Instagram, you name it. And that's the gig. And it's actually super crazy because I'm 10 years into it. And it probably took maybe 5 to 6 years until I had a large enough catalog in music licensing and streaming, and also you guys listening to our majorlink covers on Spotify under majorlink and all the YouTube support. Like, guys, this is a full-time job for me, and it supports my family, and I'm just so super grateful that this is even possible. So if you're out there and you're creative, or you're younger and you're like, you know what, I really want to do music or art, or you're a writer, or you want to get into entrepreneurship or anything, know that this is really possible. I always say to people, it's not going to happen in 6 months or a year, but you give yourself, 6 to 10 years and keep pursuing your craft, and it's just crazy what can happen. And so I just want to thank you guys for all the support. That's kind of how I approach writing music. This was a little bit of a rant. And if you have any questions on it, I'm always interested to do more videos on this kind of stuff. So please like and subscribe and leave a comment below. But if you're interested in pursuing a career in music licensing, film music, whatever it is, know that, well, a lot of people around you might not understand. This is something that you can do. It's something that you can actually support a family on. But it's going to take time. Give yourself a decade and don't stop. Cheers.